Do you love sparkly things? Are you always mesmerized when you spot a giant glimmering jewel? Do you have more cash than logic? Perfect! You've landed in the right spot because we at the Top 5 have put together a lineup of truly outrageously overpriced shiny stones for your entertainment. From a wild tale about swiping sacred gems off the heads of revered serpents, to tiny glittering crystals that cost more than the economy of a small nation, here are 15 gemstones more expensive than diamonds, and a few that technically are diamonds too. Number 15. Black Opal. Australian black opals have long held the title for being the flashiest members of the opal family, and not just because Australia says so. These stones are loaded with contrast. The dark body tone acts like a backdrop for neon-like flashes of green, blue, red, and everything in between. It's not just about sparkle, it's the intensity of that color play that makes collectors go all in. Black opals owe their unique tone to trace amounts of carbon and iron oxide, which deepen their base color without dulling the display. The brighter and more saturated the flash, the steeper the price. You'll find quality black opals primarily from Lightning Ridge, a remote part of New South Wales. While many opals fade under bright light, these thrive in it, flashing like they've been hardwired for attention. They start at around $3,000 per carat, but standout pieces can easily reach $15,000 or more. These aren't subtle stones, they're showpieces, and they know it. Number 14. Sapphire. Whether you've seen it in a royal crown or a sketchy Titanic necklace knockoff, sapphire is instantly recognizable. It's one of the 4 big hitters in the gem world, alongside diamonds, rubies, and emeralds. But unlike those other 3, sapphire comes in more than just one color, though it's the deep, velvety blue that gets all the glory. These stones form over millions of years, and their price reflects that slow geological craftsmanship. The finest sapphires are known for their intense color saturation, clarity, and resistance to scratching, second only to diamonds in hardness. It's a gemstone that's managed to stay iconic without ever fading into trendiness, making it a staple in everything from engagement rings to museum displays. While synthetic versions flood the market, natural, untreated sapphires with strong blue tones are still top-shelf luxury. It's not just about looks either. These stones have long symbolized wisdom, protection, and strength. But mostly, yeah, it's the blue that gets most people hooked. Number 13. Natural Pearl. Natural pearls, real ones, not the cheap mass-produced pearls farmed by the millions, are incredibly rare and expensive. Unlike cultured pearls, which are artificially seeded, natural pearls form when a tiny irritant finds its way inside a mollusk. The creature, trying to protect itself, begins coating the invader with a mixture of aragonite and conchiolin. Layer after layer, over the years, that reaction builds into a pearl. Most natural pearls are not perfectly round. Many are irregular, uniquely shaped, and have wild color variation. That's part of their charm. These are the kind of pearls that royalty and old money elites wore long before freshwater farms took over. These days, natural pearls are mostly vintage, plucked from estate jewelry or auction houses. With modern Chinese farming dominating the market, pearl diving is virtually extinct, which makes natural ones all the more precious. Their value isn't just in the shimmer, it's in the story, the rarity, and the fact that Mother Nature did all the work without human interference. Number 12. Red Beryl. Red Beryl isn't just rare, it's geological sarcasm. For every 150,000 gem-quality diamonds, you might find one red. That's how elusive this stuff is. Its crimson hue comes from trace amounts of manganese, but nature doesn't exactly hand this one out. The only known deposit of proper gem-quality red beryl is tucked in the remote Wawa Mountains of Beaver County, Utah. And no, the name doesn't make it easier to take seriously. Red beryl crystals tend to be tiny and fragile, which makes cutting them into usable stones a ridiculous challenge. That scarcity, paired with the color's fierce punch, turns each stone into a collector's prize. It's not the kind of gem you'll see flaunted in mainstream jewelry ads, and honestly, up close, some pieces might remind you of toy princess accessories. But it's not about flash here. It's about how impossibly rare it is to even get your hands on one. And when you do, expect the price to reflect that absurd exclusivity. Number 11. Demontoid. You'll only find true gem quality Bonita White in one place, San Benito County, California. That's it. Nowhere else delivers the electric sapphire blue that defines this rare mineral. First discovered in 1907, Bonita White became California's official state gem, and its exclusivity only makes it more sought after. It's a stone with quirks. Under UV light, it glows an intense blue-white, almost like it's wired with LEDs. While a few other countries, like Japan or Arkansas, have produced small amounts, nothing matches the vivid color or clarity found in the original U.S. deposit. And since that mine shut down in 2005, high-quality Bonita White has only grown rarer. Most stones on the market today are second-hand or pulled from old collections. If you manage to find one that's well cut, over a carat, and still holds that deep ocean blue glow, expect to shell out serious money. At over $3,400 per carat, this isn't just a pretty stone, it's an endangered one. Number 10. Demontoid Garnet. Demontoid isn't just garnet, it's a vivid green version that practically glows from within, thanks to its high dispersion rate, meaning it throws off brilliant rainbow flashes. Originally unearthed in Russia's Ural Mountains in the mid-1800s, it was so dazzling that it was mistaken for emeralds. Even its name, Demontoid, comes from the Dutch word for diamond, a nod to its diamond-like fire. While red garnets are common, Demontoid is rare and expensive. It's especially prized when it contains little thread-like inclusions called horsetails, which ironically make the gem more valuable. But as with many sparkly things, there's drama. In the early 2000s, reports surfaced that some Russian demontoids were being heat-treated to enhance their color, something nearly impossible to detect through standard gem tests. Natural color is a pretty big deal, but altered is not cool. Still, when genuine, untreated stones hit the market, collectors will drop serious cash for them. At nearly $3,000 per carat, this green fireball isn't messing around. Number 9. Ruby. Rubies have always had a thing for drama. Their deep red color is synonymous with passion, blood, power, and royalty. This fiery gem has carried symbolic weight across cultures for centuries. In ancient Burma, warriors believed rubies would make them invincible. Some even went as far as inserting them into their skin before battle. Not exactly hygienic, but it says something about the stone's legacy. Rubies form under intense pressure and heat deep beneath the Earth's surface, taking millions of years to come into being. The best ones, usually from Myanmar, Mozambique, or Thailand, have a rich, vivid hue often called pigeon blood red. They're fiercely durable too, second only to sapphires and diamonds in hardness. That mix of mythology, beauty, and toughness makes rubies a mainstay in royal collections and auction houses alike. Top-tier stones go for nearly $13,000 per carat, and that's if you can find one without flaws. These aren't just pretty stones, they're blood-red trophies of the gem world. Number 8. Naga Manakam. Let's be honest, this one's utterly bonkers. Naga Manakam isn't an average gemstone. In fact, it's not really a gemstone at all. It's more of a myth drenched in the kind of folklore that makes Indiana Jones look like a documentary. According to the tale, this mystical gem is created inside the heads of cobras, yes, actual snakes, and is allegedly spit out during full moons while the serpent prays to divine powers. Hunters supposedly hide these gems in cow dung piles to stop the snake from reclaiming them. Heartbroken, the snake dies from grief. And people genuinely believe this stuff. There's even a twist claiming that many billionaires owe their fortunes to owning one of these mythical snake-spat jewels. It's pure madness. Elon Musk lurking around cow patties in the moonlight? Feels on brand. Whether it's a sacred relic or a shining example of tall tales gone wild, Naga Manakam earns its spot not for value, but for sheer audacity. Number 7. Blue Garnet. Blue Garnet doesn't just sit quietly in the gem world, it flips the entire script. Unlike traditional garnets, which tend to lean into reds, oranges, and browns, this one plays with color in a way that borders on optical illusion. In daylight, it shows off a teal blue or blue-green tone. Under incandescent light, it transforms into purple or even deep red. That dramatic shift isn't just fascinating, it's almost disorienting. First identified in Madagascar in the late 1990s, blue garnets are exceptionally rare, and the finest examples are still mostly found there, with a few discovered in the US, Turkey, and Russia. What really drives collectors wild is the clarity and intensity of that color switch. Most gems don't do it at all, and those that try usually have subtle transitions. Blue garnet, not subtle. It's high drama in a tiny package. Prices hit 7 figures per carat when everything lines up: color, clarity, size, and shape. It's one of the only gems where lighting changes the whole personality. Number 6. Grandadorite. Grandadorite doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, and it's not a gem you're likely to stumble upon in everyday jewelry. First found in southern Madagascar and named after French explorer Alfred Grandadorite, this sea green stone wasn't even recognized for its gem potential at first. For years, only rough, opaque pieces were around, pretty to mineral collectors but useless for fine jewelry. That changed when a few rare, transparent specimens surfaced. Cut and polished, they revealed a vibrant mix of blue and green tones, with hints of teal that shift in different lights. Even now, good quality stones remain difficult to source. Sri Lanka has turned up a few colorless variants, but the ones with that signature bluish punch still come from Madagascar. It's a gem that's rare in every sense, not just where it's found, but also in how few actually look good enough to cut. With carats fetching upwards of $17,000, Grandadorite doesn't try to show off. It doesn't need to. Number 5. Fire Opal. Fire opals are the show-offs of the opal world, glowing in bold hues like orange, red, and yellow. But what really sets the rarest ones apart, known as precious fire opals, is their ability to shimmer with what gem experts call play of color. That's the flickering rainbow effect that appears when light dances across the stone. Not every fire opal pulls this off, but the ones that do are prized like rare art. To be considered valuable, a fire opal needs more than just a flashy color. Experts look at its clarity, brightness, and translucency too. Some are almost glassy, others more milky, but the vivid tones and internal glow are what command the big dollars. These gems aren't shy about their price tag either. A high-quality fire opal can set you back nearly $2,000 per carat, and that's on the low end. Not bad for a stone that looks like it swallowed a sunset and decided to sparkle about it. What do you think about it? Let us know. Number 4. Padparacha Sapphire. This doesn't just sound like a word you'd choke on, it's one of the rarest sapphire varieties around. Forget classic blue. This one leans into a soft, surreal blend of pink and orange that's often compared to a tropical sunset. Collectors lose their minds over it because the color is so specific and hard to replicate. Most sapphires fall clearly into one color category. Padparachas hover perfectly between two, and that balance is what makes them incredibly rare. Gem experts obsess over the ratio of pink to orange, the level of transparency, and whether the stone's been heat-treated. Most on the market today are lab-enhanced, which isn't necessarily a deal-breaker, but the natural ones are in another league. Mined mostly in Sri Lanka and Madagascar, these gems can cost nearly $7,000 per carat and up. Their name may be tricky to pronounce, but anyone who's seen a real one won't forget it. They're romantic, refined, and wildly expensive. Number 3. Blue Diamond. The cool, icy look of a blue diamond doesn't come from dye, treatment, or some gem lab magic. It's all thanks to boron, a trace element that finds its way into the diamond's crystal structure during formation. That microscopic addition turns a clear diamond into something surreal. While white diamonds are everywhere, blue ones belong to a completely different league. They're rare, they're vivid, and they don't just sit in storefront displays. Most famous blue diamonds, the Hope, the Blue Moon, the Oppenheimer, are locked behind glass or auctioned for obscene sums. They're graded not only on color and clarity, but on the depth of that unmistakable hue. The stronger and purer the blue, the steeper the cost. Some of the world's most expensive diamonds ever sold have been blue, and it's easy to see why. The price per carat can exceed $3.4 million, making it one of the priciest things you could possibly wear. There's no subtlety here, just icy, perfect pressure in its most expensive form. Do you love it? Well, we also do. Number 2. Jadeite. Jadeite isn't just another pretty green stone. It's been carved, worn, worshipped, and traded for thousands of years. While jade is a blanket term, jadeite is the rarer, more prized form, especially in its imperial green variety. You'll find it in everything from ancient burial suits to modern-day luxury bangles, and for centuries it's held sacred value across multiple cultures, particularly in East Asia. Unlike other gems that are judged solely on sparkle or clarity, jadeite is valued for its texture, translucency, and depth of color. The best pieces almost seem to glow from within, and that hypnotic glow is what drives collectors wild. Most top-grade jadeite comes from Myanmar, though deposits also exist in Guatemala, Russia, and Japan. It's carved into jewelry, statues, and ceremonial objects, and those with deep spiritual ties often believe it brings luck, longevity, and even protection. The best jadeite isn't just expensive, it's nearly priceless. At over $17,000 per carat, it's one of the few stones with both historical and spiritual weight behind the price. Number 1. Payite. Payite sounds like a made-up gem from a fantasy novel, and for decades, it basically was. This ridiculously rare gemstone was first discovered in Myanmar or Burma back in the 1950s, and for nearly 50 years, only 2 specimens were known to exist. 2. That gave it a near-mythical status among collectors. It wasn't until the early 2000s that more payite was found, though it's still considered one of the world's rarest minerals. When cut properly, payite has a reddish-brown to deep pink hue with flashes of orange under the right light. Its crystal structure is complex, and gem-quality stones are incredibly hard to find, let alone cut. Originally named after British mineralogist Arthur C.D. Payne, this gemstone stayed under the radar for decades before the gem world finally took notice. Today it fetches serious money, roughly $2,500 per carat. If you're lucky enough to spot one on the market, think of it as the unicorn of the gem world. Real, dazzling, and nearly impossible to find. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in with us, and we'll see you soon in the next one.